Once you have downloaded all your sketch files, now it's time to publish them using GitHub Pages. And so what is GitHub, for those of you who are new to it? So GitHub is basically a code hosting platform that allows you to develop and also deploy or publish your coding files. You can also write documentation, helps a lot of software developers and programmers to keep track of any changes or iterations to their code. And so if you haven't yet, I would recommend starting by signing up to a GitHub account if you haven't got one already. So the pocket of GitHub that we will be using is called GitHub Pages, and you can access this at pages.github.com, and I'll also link it down below. And it's basically once you have signed up and created a GitHub repository, which is basically the place where your code will live. GitHub Pages allows you to kind of publish it with a domain and everything as kind of your own site. And so the first thing that we will want to do is we want to create a new public repository to upload your sketch files into. We're just going to go over here in the plus icon, and we're going to say new repository, and you can click on that. Okay, and so once you're here, it has my username, and you can name your repository, and I recommend keeping this simple and easy. So in my case, I'll just say module 6 test. You can add a description if you'd like, and I would also recommend making it public. However, if you do have, your data set, maybe you don't want to make that public and you want to keep that to yourself, and you just want to publish the visualization as a page later on, that's also completely fine, and you can make your repository private as well. And then what I'd love for you to do is also add a README file. And a README file is basically, we're going to delve deeper into that later, but it's basically to help you build some documentation, add some notes. And so I'll leave all of the others, and then I'm just going to click on Create Repository. Once I've done that, I want to go to Add File and Upload Files. And then here you will choose those sketch files from your device. In my case, I'm just going to unzip my web editor files. So it's super straightforward, and we're just going to wait until it all uploads. And then, great. And so once it all uploads, any change that you make to your repository is called committing changes. And so in this case, you can also add a little title or a description of what you've done. And so this is what I meant with people use this to keep track of changes, or if you have updated versions and things like that. Commit directly to the main branch, that's fine, and then I'll just commit changes. Especially if it's kind of your first ever repository, it should be pretty straightforward. And so now all of your sketch files are uploaded into your main branch, which is great. And so then once they're uploaded and you're back in the repository, you can go to the settings tab here. And if you select pages down at the left sidebar, so under source, we are trying to pick a branch that we would deploy from. So deployment is basically you publishing your code or your page, and we are going to select the main in this case. And I'm just going to save that. So it normally does take a few minutes, so you can take this time to kind of unwind, step away for a minute. Okay, and so I've just kind of stepped away and come back, and so now I can see I've just refreshed this page, and now I can see that my site is live. And so if you just click on that, it will take you straight to your live page. So well done. So this is all the this was all the the HTML and CSS stuff that I was just using as an example. My sketch is live. It's full screen. It's relative to my browser window size. You can always edit your sketch or code too, by the way, even if it's been published on GitHub. And so, yeah, so now you have kind of that link. So mine says my name.github.io / the name of my repository. And so that's most likely going to be your GitHub link. But yeah, so now it's live, it's hosted, it's shareable to basically everyone, and you're ready to showcase your project.